Hi again, everyone. I'm olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Marcus. Before I get to Marcus's video, please go to the description box and click on the Rumble link. Please watch over on Rumble, as I'm still monetized there, and it'll help out with the channel. On to Marcus's content. Marcus asked for a boomer video of my choice. And I've talked about this. We talked about this with the 79%, but there's another chart out that was released a couple days ago that's very interesting, and I'm going to show a couple other things to go along with this. Boom, boom, baby boomers. The retiring baby boom generation has a record 82.4 trillion in net worth. So again, when you're hearing these stories about these boomers running through their wealth, no. The majority of them are not at all. They are not. So let me minimize myself here so we can see this and make myself a little tinier. So what we got here, this is the years. And these, see, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at these gaps. So blue are the baby boomers. So starting in 1990, this is their wealth between here and here, okay? And then you just watch it 95, 2000, and look at it after the market crashes, and now look at it. So they have gotten themselves up to $82.4 trillion. Their parents' generation down here in red is the silent generation. They're only at 19.6. So Gen X comes onto the scene where we start accumulating wealth right before 2000, say 1998. I was 25 in 1998. And you see, look how much slower. Look how narrow this is for Gen X. Look at this. Compared to the boomers' ever expanding wealth. And you could see their wealth expanding, and basically Gen X is going nowhere until 2014, where you're starting to get a little bit of separation here. And that's only really because the boomers had so much that we're just picking up their crumbs, and their crumbs were so much. But they didn't want to even give us the crumbs. They're mad at them. The boomers want their crumbs back. They want their crumbs back. And then you look at the effect it's having on the millennials, which is in pink here, where they basically had nothing until 2015, where they're picking up and they got nothing. They're at 16.5. The millennial is at 16.5 trillion in comparison, with a total of 160 trillion.3 rolling around. So out of 160 trillion some odd dollars rolling around in wealth, the boomers comprise more than half of it. More than half of it over the other three generations. Crazy. So when you hear them about like your bootstraps, and look at the gains that they made here at the expense of who? Mostly at the expense of Gen X. And they'll be like, oh, you still got 41.7 trillion. Yeah, off your crumbs. If that was more evenly distributed between all of the generations, we'd probably be looking at a much different society right now. And that goes, and I'm not going to read the story, to this that popped up yesterday on Wall Street Journal. I'm not going to read it because we know what the deal is. Gen Xers might have missed their C-suite moment. On the Clock columnist Callum Borchers writes that more companies are retaining their aging leaders or picking millennials as CEOs. So once again, just like in the government, what we're seeing here, Gen X gets completely screwed over. Skipped over, screwed over. The boomers won't retire, and the ones that do won't replace them with Gen Xers. They'll replace them with the millennials. the Gen Xers kids who were undermined, whose Gen X's parental authority was completely undermined by these boomers. So now not only have the boomers sucked up all the wealth, they're just completely eliminating another generation, Gen X, which I've been screaming about on here for 12 years. And now the Wall Street Journal is writing about it. Don't need to read the story. I don't like the Wall Street Journal anyway, because we know what it is. We know what it says. And that leads me to this, where, it all streams downhill with what we're seeing in the economy, in the housing market, in food prices. This is the type of stuff now that millennials especially, but even Gen Xers and everybody who's dealing with, because now we're renting, because now everybody's renting, because the boomers don't sell anything, or they just keep buying up more and more for themselves, on top of throwing open the borders and what's going on socially, driving up rents with illegal immigration and what have you. This is quick. Let's listen to this. And this is something I experienced personally in the last place we were in.
You're not going to believe how much they're increasing our rent. We just got the renewal letter. You guys, we live in a 426 square foot studio apartment.
426 square foot studio. Do you have any idea how tiny that actually is?
In downtown Chicago.
In downtown Chicago. So you're living in the city, so of course.
And our rent, this year was $2,108.
For a studio. For a studio. No bedroom. Studio.
The previous year?
400 square feet. Thanks, boomers. Why can't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? When I was your age, herder, $82 trillion. And meanwhile, people are paying $2,100 for 400 square foot studio apartments.
It was $1,930. They want to increase it to $2,649.
That's what I'm paying for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse with a backyard, a side yard in Fort Lauderdale, right off Los Olas, which is the main street on the river. And that's way overpriced. And what I'm paying is way overpriced. Because the rents are going down here, but not in Chicago. $2,650 for a 400 square foot studio apartment. And these boomers are sitting on $82 trillion. And 79% of them are refusing to share their wealth with anybody before they die, and most of them after they die. Because like I did on the video yesterday, the new trend now is you don't deserve it. What have you done to deserve it other than be born? As that dude looked down his nose. Meanwhile, they're charging $2,650 for 400 square foot apartments. Now, meanwhile, mind you, that's in Chicago. But the rents aren't any better here. Just because this is a 3-2 doesn't mean this thing should be, that's not even counting utilities and insurance and trash and all, and on top of that. And then these boomers will look down on their children, look down on their grandchildren, look down at the younger generation coworkers with just fucking disdain.
That's over $500 increase. I have no words. Like, where did they come up with this number? I mean, we had already made up our mind that we're not going to stay in the studio anyways. We are going to move. And
of course. But where are you going to move to? Where are you going to move to? You're going to have to move out of Illinois, that's for sure.
Look for a new place. Hopefully starting next week, we're going to start touring apartments. But
touring apartments. Understand, she's paying $2,100 a month now. That was the mortgage on my house when I bought it. not even considering she's got the kind of money that she's dropping $2,100 a month just on rent, but she can't buy anything. They can't buy anything. Why? Because of these fucking boomers. Sorry if you're in the 21%, but this is just the facts. This is just the reality. In our old place in Oakland Park in the hood, when we moved in, the rent was $700 a month for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with no washer and dryer, a tiny water heater, living in the hood. They wanted $1,850 for that at the end. They raised our rent in the last year something like $600. It was even worse. Why? Because they could get away with it. The boomer owner, listen, you know my experience. We ended up doing fine in the end. We beat those boomers. But what does anybody else do? This girl, and obviously it's two incomes because they can afford the $2,100 now, barely, but why would you? You're paying $2,100 for 400 square feet. And buying a property isn't even an option for her.
Over $500 increase for a 426 square foot studio apartment. I think this is because a new company apparently bought the building because we have new owners now. We got a letter.
Yeah, BlackRock or some investment company where, whoever the boomer owners who own the building now, they'll only sell to investment companies for top dollar, okay, and everybody gets screwed. They don't care. These investment companies don't care.
A couple of months ago that they're taking over the building. So yeah, I think that's why the prices are increasing this much.
They're increasing. Why? Why are they increasing? Because you got one generation holding $82 trillion and 80% of them refusing to share it with the younger generations. Just outright refusing. You don't deserve it. Meanwhile, you got millennials and younger generations, okay, getting charged $2,650 for 400 square foot studios. All the rentals, even here, they're out of control. I've been talking about it for a while. Luckily, it looks like the rents are starting to come down because they can't move these things anymore. Luckily, with Florida, 80% of the people who move down here figure out Florida ain't for them, and they go moving back. So now they can't build anything, they can't rent anything. So our rents will hopefully be coming down next year. At least I know they are, because my building had to end up renting the two townhouses across, okay, for less than I'm paying now. Because they couldn't get anybody in there. They couldn't get anybody in there for that price. And I already told the property manager, look, and she knew it, I'm not going to be paying. If I'm staying here next year, we're not paying. And she's like, yeah, I know. I know. So you're going to have to make decisions. Luckily, I have a private owner here, and he's my age. So it's a private owner, and he's a Gen Xer. He seems about my age. And, I like the guy. He likes me. We get along. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But for everyone else, like the girl here, what do you do? $82 trillion they're holding. They won't, and 80% of them won't share it with anyone. Hey, man, been screaming about it. Is what it is. Thank you, Marcus, for the contribution and the topic. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do to either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both channels on Rumble. If you haven't watched the video on Rumble, please just give it a click. Even a click helps. Follow me on X and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.